let's talk a little politics, shall we? I've done listened to 3 different news on YouTube. One about the $2,000 a month for everybody, the new package they're supposed to be doing. And then some other stuff that I listen to. And it all boils down to the Democrats. Now, I'm going to play something, and I want you to hear your take on it. Okay? You can agree, disagree, stay in the middle, go out the back door, whatever. But this is my take on it. Okay? So hang on 1 second. Hang on, here it goes.
Restored our connection with David Barnson. So, David, I don't know whether you heard my question earlier, but I'll ask it again. The Democrats have a plan to pay everybody $2,000 a month, adults that is, $2,000 a month as a relief from this depression-style economy that we've got now. Now, you've written extensively on this kind of program. What do you make of it?
Yeah, it's funny you say adults, because I think the legislation actually says 16 and over, and I don't know about you, but my summer job at age 16 was not paying me $2,000 a month. But either way, I think the issue here is that I am very much in line with the idea that we need to get supply and production going in our economy, and giving money directly to people is the least stimulative. Now, I recognize that there's a need for a safety net. There are people who are hurting and are unemployed and need access to cash, and I believe that's what our unemployment system is for, which they've put up to $600 a month on top of the state benefit. So there are already safety nets in place for some of those things. This direct injection of cash, I think, is the least stimulative of all the things we could be doing to help this economy.
Right.
David, I think it's a case of never letting a crisis go to waste.
There you go.
This is the way that those who want a universal income plan get it through the side door during the virus crisis. I don't think it's going to happen. Do you?
Nope. I do not. No, I don't think that they would even have the votes in their own party, but I agree with you. That's exactly what this sort of token gesture is intended to do.
David, thanks for...
All right, you heard that? Now, get it through the side door. All right, now here's my take on that. Listen real close. Now, I could be wrong. I've been staying up with this since Trump made office. Everything he's talked about from day one, I have stayed on top of this every day. Okay, a lot of people don't because they say it's so negative and so this and so that, and they don't like Trump, and they don't like this, and they don't like this. You know what? This involves your life, your kid's life, their kid's life, okay, and lives beyond, okay. Now, who's been wanting Trump out of office? All the left wingers, okay. What have they done to try to get him out of office? Everything they can, okay. Now, Democrats want us under their thumb, keep us in the hole, keep us in debt, keep us poor, keep us wanting, and keep them in control. Now, tell me I'm wrong. Go ahead, I dare you, because you know I'm right. They have put every Tom, Dick, and Harry on food stamps. Oh, Democrats are great. We got all this free money. People that have been working all these years have been lived off food stamps instead of paying their way. Like it should be. Like your parents went and done. Slaved in the hot sun, picking cotton, picking wheat, milking cows, gathering eggs, before they even had machinery. What were they doing? They were out doing it by hand, tillering the farms. Yeah, think about that, people. Okay? Scenery came around. Things got a little better. A little better. Little pay raise went up. A little pay raise here, a little donut here, a little pinch there. Over the years, come on, people, get with me here. Okay? When the Democrats went stupid and thought, wait a minute, people are starting to realize they can do on their own and they don't need us. Let's stop it. Let's take all of our factories and companies and name brands and sell them to who? Other countries, overseas. Oops, there went our jobs. There went people's money. There's where people's benefits and liability and finances went overseas. That's why you have all these homeless people doing without, living on the streets, crapping in the streets, on drugs. Think about it, people. Okay? So now, here we are, 2020, all these years. Trump's in office. He's making the economy come back. He's bringing our jobs back. He's putting people to work. He's taking people off food stamps. He's taking the people off the economy that's able to work, that hasn't been working. Okay? I'd love to have a job, but unfortunately, where I live, we have a one horse town that the horse even left out of because there wasn't nothing for him to eat or do. Okay? Seriously. Now, Nancy Pelosi is sitting in her $12 million house with a $12,000 friggin' refrigerator and a $12 pack of ice cream. Who the heck paid for a $12 pack of ice cream? Give me a break. Get my blood pressure up and get my bronchitis going, will you? It's all I can do to afford milk and bread. And I'm on retirement Social Security at $500 a month. Okay? So don't give me this Democrats has got it all together crap. Democrats has got it all in the works. Yeah, they got it in the works. They're taking your resources away from you. They want you under their thumb. You start gaining power, that's taking power away from them. And I'll tell you something else, they don't like that. And I got news for you, and I'm going to be straight up with you, like I always am with anybody I talk to. Trump's going to take that power away from her. Her, Schumer, Schiff, Nadler, the whole shoot and shadoodle. And you can take it for what it's worth. You can close your ears to it. You can throw it out the window. You can go out and play ball with it. I don't care what you do with it. But I have been keeping up with this. Those that ain't keeping up with it and don't want to hear it and don't want to face it and this, that, and the other, hey, you be the last people on earth to get the message. And you're going to wish you had it. Because I'm telling you don't like Trump because he's doing what's right. And that is a sad, sad, sad situation. You better get on the Trump train and listen to what's going on. He is trying to benefit you. He's not a racist when he's helping blacks, Latinos, Mexicans, and whatever else. You can be green and he'd help you. Purple, yellow, it don't matter. You're people. You're an American. You got to eat. You got to survive. And that's who he's looking after. The ones he took off food stamps are the ones that's using the resources. The immigrants is coming over here taking your resources. Because you can't get ahead because they're taking it. That'd be like me going in your house going, oh, wait a minute. I want this. I want that. What are you going to do? You're going to throw my ass out, right? Duh. Wake up, smell the coffee. That's the same thing the immigrants are doing. That's the same thing these drug tailors are doing. That's the same thing the Democrats are doing. They're taking your friggin' resources. And if you like that, then you a sad mistake for being American. I'll be upfront and honest with you. You can take it for what it's worth. You can just walk away. But I tell you what, us Americans that work for a living, that paid our taxes, that work like a dog, like me, like my husband, he's a veteran. He spent 15 years in the freaking army, giving us our freedom. And you guys don't oblige by that? You guys don't appreciate that? That's a sad situation, I call. That's a bad situation. Bad and sad. Okay? Because I tell you what, if it wasn't for the veterans across the United States and then some that lost their lives to save ours, where the hell do you think you'd be today? Would you even made it as far as you are? Could you go out and do what they did? No. Would you go out and do what they did? No. And these, I want this and I want that. Thinking the United States owes you something? America don't owe you crap. You owe it to yourself. To yourself. Nobody else. I don't owe you nothing. You don't owe me nothing. But I'll tell you what, it's going to get in a bad situation in a flat ass hurry. If people don't wake up and smell the friggin' coffee, get off the Democrat train and get on the Trump train and help this man do what needs to be done, because you will be helping yourself and everybody else. Your mother, your brother, your sister, your daddy, your aunts, your uncles, your niece, your nephews, your cousins, you name it. Your grandkids, their grandkids. If nobody else, if you don't care about nobody else but yourself, that's just plain friggin' selfish and greedy. And that's what's wrong with this world today. Nobody cares about the American people no more. What the hell happened? You don't care about your mama that worked day and night and day, hour after hour to supply you with milk, bread, butter, clothes, shoes, a bed to sleep in, a roof over your head, food on the table, your medical bills. These young kids today, oh, mama's going to give me a car. I got news for you. I got 3 boys. They worked their asses off to get what they wanted. I didn't give them nothing because I didn't owe them nothing. I owed them one thing, and that was life. When they got old enough to get a job, even before they got old enough to get a job, when they were in school, I made them work in the cafeteria. I made her work in the school as a janitor. I made her work in the damn classrooms as teachers' assistants. And now they got businesses of their own. What are you doing for your kids? Oh, honey, you can have this. Oh, honey, yeah, you can have this. Here, take this. Here, take that. You know what? Kids that are taking and not giving will amount to nothing. Nothing. Because it's all gimme, 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 gimme. And when the parents die, oh crap, what am I going to do? I ain't got nobody to give me what I want. I need this, I need that. I don't have the education for a job. I don't have the skills for a job. Mama never taught me to work. Oh crap, where are you at now? Now you see where I'm going? Yeah. Now, this ain't nothing but a tug of war here. In between Nancy, Schumer, Nadler, Schiff, the whole Democrat Party is wanting power. And the more they want it and the more crap they're pulling, they're losing it faster than they can get it. Grant my words. I guarantee you, come election day, Trump's taking them out of office. And he's going to run this nation on his own. Okay? And the reason why I say that is because of this next video I'm fixing to give you. Hang on. All right, here we go.
President Trump today says Nancy Pelosi needs to get back to work. Pelosi has told colleagues that the House won't come out of recess until May 4th, unless for some reason there should be an emergency. She apparently has missed this pandemic. In a tweet, President Trump said this: "She is totally incompetent and controlled by the radical left, a weak and pathetic puppet. Come back to Washington and do your job."
All right. He didn't read all of it, but I will. Nancy Pelosi, you are a weak person. You're a poor leader. You're the reason America hates career politicians. Exactly. Like yourself, Sean Hannity. She is totally incompetent and controlled by the radical left, a weak and pathetic puppet. Come back to Washington and do your job. And that's what I'm saying. She's sitting in a multi-million-dollar house eating caviar and steaks and champagne and all that. Where are you at? What are you eating tonight? Maybe a chicken leg? Maybe a pizza? Maybe, if that. Maybe a hamburger? You know, come on. Think about it. She ain't doing nothing but taking your money out from under you and still wants you under her thumb. Telling you. Now, let's go on with the rest of it.
Well, joining us now, Republican National Committee Chairwoman Ronna McDaniel. Ronna, great to have you with us. Can you imagine the Speaker saying, barring an emergency, she won't be back until the 4th of May? I mean, this is...
She got money to sit on. She don't have to go to work.
I think it's disgusting that she's in her mansion in San Francisco while millions and millions of Americans are losing their jobs, wondering if they're going to have a paycheck, wondering if their small business will remain open, and also losing their lives. And she won't come back to Washington and do her job in a time of crisis. I think the American people are being let down by the Democrat Party, not only by that, but them not extending the PPP loans to small businesses so small businesses can stay open and continue to pay their employees. It is really, really a disgrace to see Nancy Pelosi failing the American people at this time.
Right.
People who lose their jobs, small businesses that fail, people who
and she ain't even doing her job
for help here. have only to look at Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi and the Democratic Party for the consequences that they are unfairly going to bear. How does that make any political sense for even the radical Democrats?
Funding for Paycheck Protection Program is completely depleted. Duh. How many people didn't get that check? That need that check? They gotta have that check. While she's sitting up there in her friggin' multi-million-dollar house that your kids, your parents paid for out of their taxes, out of their money. We should be sitting up in her house and her be sitting up in ours. Me and my husband here, I'll be honest with you, we can't even live together because the house we live in is too freaking small for two people. I live in a cabin, he lives in a trailer. I can't put him in here because it ain't big enough for him. I can't live over there because it's not big enough for me. Now, how crazy is that on a 30-year marriage? Would you live like that? Well, a fixed income, Social Security. We have to have auto insurance, life insurance, health insurance, car insurance. You name it. Okay? Gotta have water, gotta have power, gotta have phone, gotta have internet. And don't tell me I can get it cheaper. Okay? I've done been there and done that. I'm 62 years old. As of today, thank you very much. We've been married 30 years. 30 plus, should I say. So I've did my bill analysis, my money analysis, and research, and all that good stuff. So I know what I can cut, and what I can do, what I can't, what I need. I've already been there and done that. So you can save all your breath on that one. Okay? So here's the deal. Okay? She's sitting up in her mansion while you're sitting there struggling, hoping you got a job, hoping you can get a job, hoping you can keep your business open. While she's sitting up there in her little fancy dancy butt, getting her pedicures and makeovers and doodads and her whatever. I still say she had a plan all the way past before January. I say that her and Nadler and Schiff and Schumer and all them little puppets over there had something to do with this virus. I really do, because if you think about it, where was she? What was holding the impeachment papers up? Hmm? Think about that. Remember all the impeachment crap she was doing? All the investigations and crap like that she was doing and pulling? Timing. Timing. Okay? It's all in the mix. It's all in the works. They didn't like him the day he said he was running because they already knew he had their number. Trump's been on top of this way before all this. 30 years ago. He's 70 something years old, okay? So he's been watching the politics. He's been in the politics. I mean, not been in it, but I mean, he's been doing his research in it, okay? He's a builder. He's a businessman. What are these yahoos? All mouth and no action. Too busy talking shit and eating donuts, is my saying, okay? And what do I mean by that? Their mouth is full of junk. Not worth the spit that come out of their mouth. or the air they wasted to say it. Okay? That's where I'm at with the Democrats. And you can take it for what it's worth. Okay? So, yeah, this is all planned. Okay? If you do your research and you're really interested in this and you want to know how this all came about, you got YouTube. Watch it. Do your research. Listen. Listen real close. Learn something.
It doesn't. And you know, I talked to someone today, a good friend of mine, and she said, we can't survive this. Our business will not survive this.
Right. The
And
economy won't
Democrats
survive.
refusing to extend these small business loans. They know how popular this program is, and we're going to not come back to Washington and work. The president is there every day. Dr. Fauci, Dr. Birx, they're there every day, working to help us get through this crisis. And for Nancy Pelosi to stay in her mansion during this time is just so disgusting and disgraceful. And the working class people in this country should recognize the Democrat Party no longer stands for them.
Amen.
And the president making it very clear that he is considering putting Congress and the Senate into recess. If they're not going to work, what is the point? And if all they're going to do is obstruct his nominees, he needs to move this government forward. That's what the American people elected him to do.
That's right.
What are your thoughts about, for the first time in history, an American president saying to the Senate and the House, you're no longer about loyal opposition, you're about subversion, and you're going home until we need you?
Yeah, I don't think the American people have realized the amount of obstruction this president has faced in putting appointments in place in his administration.
Really?
You know, he was elected, and they have put so many votes to cloture, 6, 7 times what the past 6 presidents have dealt with. I mean, it is truly amazing how many of his nominees have not been able to get through. And I think the president's just fed up.
Amen.
He's saying, I'm done. You're preventing our government from functioning, and we're in a time of crisis. And if you're not going to come back to Washington and do your job, then we don't need you, and I'll get these people in and get this government working on my own.
There you go.
You know, the American people have watched the Democrats become the party of hate, and to put together for the first time in my knowledge, an investigation of a sitting president, for an investigation of a presidential candidate. 3 years it went on, both by the FBI and the special counsel, and the impeachment. My God,
Our
the
money
American
went
people,
to
I
that.
have to believe, have a pretty good sense
Your money.
of the efforts of the Democrats to overthrow this president and to subvert every policy that he's offered.
Yeah, I just don't know if they know how many of these nominations have gone to a cloture vote. I think with the past 6 presidents, it's gone to cloture about 20 times. In the first 2 years of this president, it went to cloture about 130 times. It is astounding how many of our nominees have not been able to get through to the positions that the president has nominated them for.
Mm-hmm. Because
he
of
has the
Pelosi.
support of the party in doing this.
And Schumer.
Your thoughts as we wrap up?
Listen, I trust the president. We are in a time of crisis. He is a wartime president. And if Nancy Pelosi refuses to come back to Washington to govern, I don't know what choice she's giving him.
That's right.
All right. Ronna McGann, always great to have you with us. We thank you so much. Good to see you.
Thank you.
There you go. Plain, simple, and to the point. Bam, Sam. Out the door she goes. Just like anybody else. If you hired a worker, but all he did was sit on his butt and didn't do nothing, but you're paying him, how long do you think you're going to keep that worker? Hmm? Same friggin' thing right there. Right there. And that's just what she's doing. She's getting paid to do nothing. Nothing. Not for you, not for me, not for our veterans, not for our hospitals, not for nobody. And you want to talk Democrats about how you rather vote for a Democrat than you would a Republican? What the? blankety blank is wrong with you? Wake the hell up. Anybody that wants to vote Democrat because they hate Trump, hit the road, Jack. That's where I'm at. And I'll tell you to your face just like I'm looking at you. Hit the friggin' road. Because we don't need you. You can disown me. You can say whatever you want to say. You can do whatever you want to do. But I got news for you. If we don't get this shit back on track like it needs to be, like it was before all this crap happened, you're going to wish you had voted for a Republican. You're going to wish like hell you had voted for a Republican. Because think about it. If you're anywhere in the age from 30 to 60 and look back and do your research like I said before, you'll know I'm right. You'll know I'm right. But you don't want to face it. You don't want to hear it. You don't want to deal with it. You want to bury your ass in the sand like a friggin' ostrich. It's crazy. You want to stay under their thumb? Fine. Go live in the house with her or something. Go live in the state with her. See how California's doing, right? Well, she's the governor of the Congress of California. You want to live like that? Seriously? Because that's where you're heading. That's where all of us are heading if we don't get off our butts and do something. If I could vote 5 times, I'd vote every one of them for Trump. Every one of them. And then some. This next clip you're going to hear was done on January 15th. Now, if you look back on what January 15th was, okay, that's what YouTube is for. Do your research on what I'm telling you. Because here's the situation that was going on.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Back when this national nightmare began, Speaker Pelosi laid bare her intentions and purely partisan agenda. She told her caucus that they needed to strike while the iron is hot. This was always an exercise in raw partisan politics. Contrary to the warnings of our founders, and over the last month, we saw the justification for running the fastest, thinnest, and weakest impeachment in American history crumble. Instead of sending the articles of impeachment to the Senate for trial, Speaker Pelosi held them hostage in a failed play to gain leverage that she did not and would never have. In terms of concessions, she got nothing. No control, no moral victories. In other words, another failed strategy. After a month of counterproductive and harmful delays, I have 3 questions for my friends on the other side of the aisle, the Democrats. What happened to impeachment being urgent? What happened to Congress being on the clock? What happened to saying the House would be derelict in our duty if we did not act immediately? These were all the assertions Democrats made over the past several months.
Hear that? See? Had to get that impeachment in. Had to get that impeachment in. And then all of a sudden, when it's time to deliver, she disappears. How convenient. When did this coronavirus show up? Oh, January. Where was she? She was not in the country. Where was she at? She was over there in China. Lovey-doveying it all up with them. And to this very day, as of 4/22, 2020. Sorry about that. To this very day, when this virus came out, I wouldn't put it past her, Schumer, Schiff, the whole shoot and shadoodle of them. Got this thing going. China was making the soup, as they call it, or as I call it, the soup. Democrats heard about it and said, I got a perfect idea to put Trump out of office. He spread the soup. Really? Yeah, that would do the trick, right? He can't beat it. We'll throw everything in the book on him. We'll throw everything we got at him. All you need to do is spread it. What happened? 500 people from Japan. They had the virus. Poof, came into the United States. Yeah, think about that. Notice how fast that stuff spread? How many people got it and just poof. Yeah, like I said, this thing is dangerous. Very dangerous. Very contagious. Very deadly. Okay? And I'm sure you've heard it. You've seen it. You're even probably up in it. Okay? With some of your loved ones, your neighbors, your friends, your aunts, uncles, nephews, nieces, cousins, you name it. Okay? Think about that. Okay? She was over there in China. That's why she was holding the impeachment up. Because she wasn't in the States. She was over there lovey-doveying up with China. Okay? Put two and two together. What does that make? Yeah. See? Timing. Remember timing. Yeah, see? They already had all this in cahoots. Some even say it was a revenge from China to the United States because of the tariffs and stuff that Trump was doing to China. Again, I say it's a slap in the face to Trump from the Democrats through China. Tell me I'm wrong. Think about it. I'm not a conspiracy thinker, a conspiracy hummonger, or whatever you want to call it. I'm just putting the pieces together. Okay? Some people ain't got the brains to put one and two together and make three. Okay? Much less two and two. But there you go. Right there. This was done in January. This video I'm showing you or listening to. The impeachment drug on for what? 2 months? When did this virus come up? About the same time. Wonder how that happened. Where was Nancy Pelosi? Yeah, think about that. Now, whether you think I'm making good sense or not, I don't care. I'm just putting my stuff out there. Okay? I don't care what you think. I don't care how you feel about what I'm saying. I'm just here telling my story or what I think. Whether it makes any hill of beans to you or anybody else, I don't care. And that was a piece of dust that fell from the top. Okay, that's nice. Alrighty then. But anyway, needless to say, um, I'm going to go on with the video. So listen up.
I guess it turns out none of them are true. These delayed tactics were self-serving, hypocritical, and discrediting. But they made an important admission. Some might even call it a concession. You proved a very big point. Democrats do not even believe their case was robust enough to win in a trial. Even the Speaker's allies admit the delays undermined their case. Some have gone as far as describing it as a failed strategy. These are those who are closest to it. Senator Feinstein, the senior Democrat from our state of California and the hometown senator of the Speaker, said, the longer it goes on, the less urgent it becomes.
Mm-hmm.
And Chairman Adam Smith, a confidant of the Speaker, said it was time to transmit the articles to the Senate.
Time.
Before these statements were made last week, before the Speaker relented, they are significant because they were public and they were honest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm disappointed these individuals did not have the courage to stand by their initial comments. If impeachment was truly as urgent as Democrats claimed, the majority should not have waited for the Speaker to choose a political, convenient time. Anyone could have recognized this ploy would not work. The House and the Senate are different institutions, and at this point in time, controlled by different parties.
Mm-hmm.
As James Madison wrote in the Federalist Papers, the purpose of bicameralism is to guard against the dangers of encroachment and to stop toxic resolutions from taking effect. We saw separation of powers prevail against an abuse of power, just as the Constitution intends. The idea of withholding a sloppy impeachment case to force the Senate to change its rules is constitutionally and politically unheard of. Frankly, it's just ridiculous.
Yep.
In Article 1, Section 5, the Constitution clearly states, each House may determine the roles of its proceedings. It doesn't say the House may determine the roles of proceedings in the Senate. If anything, the Speaker's actions have only further persuaded members of the Senate that the evidence of impeachment was neither thorough nor satisfactory.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Let's be honest. This was never about persuasion. It was never about the rule of law. It was what Alexander Hamilton warned us, that one party would get control. And just because of the animosity, would demean the process of impeachment. And by selecting these particular batch of managers, the Speaker has further proven she's not interested in winning the minds, the hearts, or even following the Constitution.
Right.
Let's take a look at the first three names Speaker Pelosi announced in her anticipated announcement earlier today. Chairman Schiff, a man who has already taken on the role of judge,
Yep.
jury, and fact witness throughout the entire House impeachment process.
That's right. Remember
Chairman
that?
Adler, someone who campaigned for the chairmanship of the Judiciary Committee that's responsible for impeachment beginning as far back as December 2017,
December.
before you were even in the majority, on the notion that he would be the best person to lead the charge on potential impeachment against the president. You see, you get a chairmanship by your conference voting for you. You campaign for it. You put your best ideas out there of why you should be the chairman. In 2017, that was the campaign. Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, a member who almost 2 years to this date voted in support of impeachment. You know, that was more than a year before the Ukraine call even took place.
Mm-hmm. Puzzles.
Those are just some of the managers. If you think about the members, there's people who were, on the day they were sworn in to this body, told those who supported him the greatest that they were going to impeach him. As I've said in the past, there's an issue with fairness. But instead of looking to the Senate, Speaker Pelosi should be looking within her own caucus.
Right.
From the beginning, this investigation was marred by selective leaks to the media, a completely predetermined process. Yes, we've been through impeachment before, but it was much different. We believed in the rule of law back then, that we would face our accuser, that you could cross-examine, that the minority could actually ask for witnesses.
That's right.
The day that impeachment was asked to come forward, I sent a letter to the Speaker, laying out 10 items, none that were made up. You know what they were? The fair process we've always used in the past. The answer was no. Because they've been working on this for 2.5 years, they could not let fairness determine the outcome.
Timing.
Any other prosecutor would be disbarred for such blatant bias, especially if that prosecutor was a fact witness in the case. The reason for this impeachment is the same reason it's taken Democrats 30 days to send the articles to the Senate. Just spite. They wanted to stain the president's record without giving him a fair chance to clear his name. Last year, we saw House Democrats invert the burden of proof during their fair investigation. For every American watching, take for instance that this was your government. If you switched the burden of proof on you. We have a congressman, Max Rose, characterized it this way. This new freshman of the majority. The president says he's innocent, so all we're saying is prove it. God forbid government accuses you of something as an average American, say you have to prove it. We just switched a fundamental belief as an American. But only in this house do we do that. This guilty and proven innocent mentality was an admission that impeachment was not about upholding justice or protecting the rule of law. Now Democrats have invented an even more destructive standard. You're guilty because they say so.
That's right.
Our founders
That's our
feared
Democrats.
this day. Alexander Hamilton warned us of this day. I'd hoped this day would not come. I'd hoped those who uphold the Constitution would believe in the rule of law instead of the spite of the dislike of an individual. Like the kangaroo courts on college campuses, an accusation is enough for a conviction. Even as early as just last Sunday in an interview, Speaker Pelosi made that point very clear to all of us. Asked what a Senate acquittal would mean, she said it didn't matter. The president is impeached forever. Is that what this is all about? Just a personality. Just an abuse of power that you have within a house that we all feared this country would never do. You could almost see in the speaker's smile as she spoke about this new standard, how incredibly solemn she was. Madam Speaker, when Americans look back on this sad saga, they will see a rigged process that forever damaged the remedy of impeachment. Speaker Pelosi got nothing from the Senate, but the American people got worse than nothing. They got stuck with the bill for a costly, never-ending investigation.
That's right.
The old saying that you get what you pay for does not apply here. Congress wasted time and millions of dollars on partisan impeachment.
Yep.
In return, taxpayers get nothing. Democrats misaligned priorities that cost the people solutions that could have improved the quality of their life. There's no greater contrast than what we are doing right here today than what is happening at Pennsylvania Avenue. The president sitting down with another country of a leader and signing a trade agreement. Something people said we could never get done. To make this country stronger, to make America the next century ours. But what are we doing here? We are doing what this majority has worked their entire time for. Before they are even sworn in, they campaigned for the position of chairman. For this moment, for this time, for the millions of dollars that are spent, so they could say the president is impeached. That's a lofty history. Those are lofty goals that you now have authored more subpoenas than you created laws. But thank God we got a president in the White House that does not sit back.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he got the United States, Mexico, Canada trade agreement, our top two traders. He's sitting with a trade agreement with China today. But think about how much stronger his hand would have been had that agreement taken place earlier when he got it.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was held. Why? Because we were impeaching.
And that's what she didn't want. She
That's
wanted
an
the
amazing
power, so
agenda,
she held
but you
him up.
promised people you would do it. This is not a moment this body should be proud of. As Speaker Pelosi likes to say, impeachment is a national civics lesson. Let's use this blunder as a teachable moment. I'll make this promise to the American public, because the day will come that the majority will switch.
Amen.
We will uphold the Constitution.
Right.
We will listen to the words of Alexander Hamilton. And just because somebody else is in an office that we may not like, we will not change the rule of law. We'll not accuse them of breaking it and say they have to prove it. We believe America is more than a country. That America is an idea of the straightness that we asked would make students in Iran rise up for the freedom of what they know America to be. But the rule of law was so powerful. This is a moment in a civic lesson that we should learn.
Mm-hmm.
This is a moment that will teach our grandchildren. Yes, more than 200 years ago, the founders crafted an amazing country, but they warned us what abuse of power would look like. The sad part is we're witnessing it. What a contrast in a day and time.
Mm-hmm.
Moving forward, we must not redo these same mistakes in Congress. And my promise to you, if power was to change, the rule of law would come back. We'd have an agenda focused on people,
Hint, hint.
not on politics. We'd have a voice that you're innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
We would not use our power just for the sheer shake of politics to say you're impeached forever because I dislike you. We are better than this. It's a sad day. But the great thing about America, it will all change because the people have the voice. I yield back.
Amen. And that's what I'm saying. People, you, me, your family, your friends, your neighbors, all of us, we, black, white, green, yellow, purple, I don't care what color, we all have a voice. We all have a say because we as Americans, they work for us. Not we work for them. They work for us. And what Pelosi's doing ain't friggin' right. Now, one more piece and then I'm going to close this out. Listen to this. After you just heard that, listen to this.
But remember this, we're dealing in politics. We're dealing with a thing called November 3rd of this year. Do you know what November 3rd represents, right? You know better
Last
than
year.
anybody in the room. November 3rd of this year, it's called the presidential election. No matter what I do, no matter where we go, no matter how well we do, no matter what, if I came up with a tablet, you take it and this plague is gone. They'll say Trump did a terrible job, terrible, because that's their soundbite. That's the political soundbite. They know the great job we've done. But with all of that being said, and also there is a thing that somebody could talk to if they want, but I don't want to bore you with it. Not everybody believes we should do so much testing. You don't need so much. We're talking about maximum. The reason that the Democrats and some others, maybe because they don't know, they want maximum because they want to be able to criticize. Because it's almost impossible to get to the maximum number, and yet we've been able to do it already. But with that, and you'll be seeing this over the next, I think, over the next couple of weeks or sooner, we have a test. If it comes out, it'll revolutionize the whole world of testing. It'll be something really special. So I don't view it as personal at all. What I do say is it's something that's not fair to thousands of people that have done such a good job.
Right.
Your language and how you approach the coronavirus at the beginning. I interviewed someone who said that his family got sick. They went to a funeral in mid-March. And they said mainly because the president wasn't taking it seriously. He said, if the president had a mask on, if he was saying we should stay home, then I would have stayed home.
Well,
Instead, I had family members.
Trying to blame the president
He said his family members were
again.
sick and
That's
because
the left.
but they were listening to you. Do you feel like, or are you concerned that downplaying the virus maybe got some people sick?
And a lot of people love Trump, right? A lot of people love me, see him all the time, right? I guess I'm here for a reason, you know? To the best of my knowledge, I won. And I think we're going to win again. I think we're going to win in a landslide. But just so you
Against
understand,
Biden, yeah.
you're talking about March, right?
Yeah.
And yet, excuse me, I know, I understand. And yet
Listen
in
to this.
January, a certain date, you know the date better than I do, we put on a ban of China where China can't come in. And before March, we put on a ban on Europe where Europe can't come in. So how could you say I wasn't taking it seriously? You know, I put on a ban on China before anybody in this country died. I put on a ban. And so you tell me Nancy Pelosi she wanted to have a street party in Chinatown in San Francisco
There you go.
at the end of February. That's a month later.
Mm-hmm.
And then they tell me it's only a political talking point, but you feed into it because you're too good a reporter to let that happen. Really, you are a
That's
good
the
reporter.
media for you.
You're too good a reporter to let that happen. Remember this. So at the end of January, I put on a ban. People that were in that room will tell you, I think there were 21 people. I was the only one in the whole room that wanted to do it. Fortunately, I was the one that counted for that purpose. We put on a ban because I was reading bad things about China. World Health Organization should have told us.
See?
But I was reading it with or without them. They should have known. All they had to do was read it. They didn't have to even be there. But they tried to cover up for China. World Health covered up for China.
See?
But no, wait, but you can't say this. Look, I put on a ban. In other words, I stopped China from coming to the United States. I stopped Europe from coming into the United States
Right.
long before the March date that you're talking about. So people should say I acted very early. That was a very hard thing to do. Doing that was a very hard thing. I didn't want to do that, but I did it because I thought, and Dr. Fauci said that by doing it, President Trump saved tens of thousands of lives. So I did take it very seriously.
Rallies in February and in March, and there are some American.
Oh, I don't know about rallies. I really don't know about rallies. I know one thing. I haven't left the White House in months, except for a brief moment to give a wonderful ship the comfort.
Rally in March.
I don't know. Did I hold a rally? I'm sorry, I hold a rally. Did I hold a rally? Let me tell you, in January, when I did this, you had virtually no cases and no deaths, and yet I put it on. So how could I not? Why was Nancy Pelosi, right? Nancy Pelosi is holding a street fair. She wants a street fair in San Francisco in Chinatown to prove, you know what the purpose of it was? To prove that there's no problem. Many other politicians did the same thing and wanted to prove. While I was, no, of course not. No. I've been, people are amazed at how early I acted, and I did act early. With that being said, it's very hard to say, let's close down the greatest economy in the history of the world. I had to close down. I and everybody else that works with me and 300 and close to 350 million people built the greatest economy in the history of the world. Best employment numbers, best stock market numbers, best numbers in virtually every category. Even good manufacturing numbers. The previous administration said manufacturing was dead for our country. Even great manufacturing numbers. And you know what? I did that, and somebody walked into my office and said, "Sir, you're going to have to close down the economy. You're going to have to close the country." But you know what I say to you? We're going to rebuild it. And we're going to rebuild it better, and it's going to go faster than people think. I built it once, I'll build it a second time.
There you go. See? Trump ain't no dummy. He's a builder. He's a businessman. He knows what he's doing. More than I can say for these other yahoos that's talking crap. Like I said, talking shit and eating donuts, which means their mouth is full of crap. Okay? and they're talking out the backside of their butts. So you can take it for what it's worth, and you can deliberate it. Hell, do what I do. Do your research. Get on YouTube. Hell, they got the first of when Trump announced he was going in for office. They got Trump before years before he was even thinking about going into office. Do your friggin' research. It's all I ask. You really want to know about what's doing who and who's doing what? Get on YouTube, please. I dare you. Okay? Now, yeah, you can take it for what it's worth, like I said, but I guarantee you, you have to come up with the same solution I got. This is all on the Democrats because they have tried every friggin' trick in the book to throw at him, and he's just getting stronger. And this just put him over the top. Whether you want to believe it or not, for what the Democrats are doing, yeah, yeah, very much so. And I'll be right there with you. So, with that said, I'm going to go to bed. It's 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, going on 6 o'clock in the morning. No nap. So, leave your comments. All you got to do is scroll down, leave a comment. I want to hear from you. I'll come back with you. I'll come back. I'll agree with you, disagree with you. We'll debate this. We'll do whatever needs to be done. But right now, I'm going to bed. So, with that said, good night. Have a good day. All that good stuff, because I got to get some sleep. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your comment if you leave one. Thank you for your like if you've got one. Whatever. And I'll holler at you later. Bye.